Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics gear. All right, welcome to this week's episode of the Massenomics podcast. This is Tyler, and I am here recording intros all by myself. So this week's episode is going to be a whole mess of our interviews from the Arnold. We're going to get the video versions all compiled together, and you'll be able to find those on our YouTube channel soon. I'm just here to record intros to each one. I believe this week's episode is going to have the first half of our interviews, and the next week's episode, I think we're going to do it's basically a podcast that me and Tommy and Tanner recorded after the first day of the Arnold. And then we're going to get the second half of these interviews to you in podcast form by the week after that. So our first guest, you've heard us talk about him many times before. I'm sure if you follow us, you follow him on Instagram. But our first guest is QuadsLikeRobb, more probably known to his family as Rob Philippus. I'll kind of just turn this over to him. We were fortunate enough to get into the animal cage for this, which was pretty sweet. Our first, 3 interviews were inside the cage. I don't know how the hell we pulled that off, but it was pretty sweet to actually be in there as opposed to standing outside trying to peer over 1,000 heads to look in. So forgive the audio quality. It is as best as we could do with all of the noise around us, so it's definitely going to be a bit of a busier sounding podcast, since at the Arnold we are surrounded by people nonstop. So these first 3 ones are inside the cage. There's music, crowd, all that other stuff going on behind us. But the next few minutes here is going to be us with QuadsLikeRobb.
All right, good to go. All right, we're here in the animal cage with an animal himself, QuadsLikeRobb. You lifted this morning. How'd it go?
Pretty good. We worked up to a small double.
What's small and light to you?
No, I'm just kidding. We worked up to 925. I told Eric Schwartz that we were going to do about 950. JP Price, he had something just over 9 for a double, so we agreed not to one-up each other and just do a double at 925.
How does 925 feel on your back today?
Actually, it felt better than 835. So warming up, you really don't know how it's going to go. Everything feels heavy around 730 or so without wraps or a belt. Put a belt on, put wraps on, things start to take over for you.
Right on.
So after a 900 plus pound squat, how's the guy stuff himself in a fucking airplane and head home? We actually drove, but it just gross. Yeah, we drove her to Altima, so we did it hard.
When we walked up here, you were talking about us being tall. Our advantage is people can see tall from a ways away. People can't see the quads very well when you're walking up. Do you have to walk around with those pulled up?
No, they still pick me out. I picked the yellow shirt. I probably should have went with black, but people see me. They see me coming.
How many times, like at the Arnold, do you get hit up for a picture with the quads?
I don't really count, but I'm at a dozen already, maybe 15 or so. JP and I mixed some rounds earlier just to see what was going on. It wasn't as crowded as it is now this morning, and we still got stopped plenty of times.
But you don't mind showing them off when you have to, do you?
No, I think it's kind of crazy, right? I just do this for fun, and these people, if they want a picture, I'll give anybody a picture.
Hell yeah. Are you competing at the U.S. Open this year again?
Yeah, I'll be at the U.S. Open. Hopefully, maybe get that 1,003 squat. That'd be really nice. There's so much competition there that, a good day, I might be top 10. It's going to be a crazy meet.
Yeah, it's fun to watch when you see that many good guys get together.
Now, my question is, I have never seen you wear a pair of tied shoes. What's the deal with that? I actually tie my shoes all the time, unless I'm working out. So it's just on Instagram or on social media, probably. you know, bending over for that long, holding my breath, you know, I don't want to pass out just tying my shoes. You know?
Well, that sounds great. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes here, too. It's always good to talk to you. So
Thanks, Rob. Absolutely.
This next interview, we are still in the cage. We're joined by James Strickland. James is a big son of a bitch. He was gearing up for a 700-pound bench press attempt, I believe, in the cage. He's a big bench presser. We get into here. We talk a little bit about what it's like holding that much weight over your face. You know, how he trains, how he approaches it, and what it's like for him lifting in the cage. So, give this a listen. James Strickland.
all right, we're here with James Strickland, Swim Hack on Instagram. Is that right? Okay, you're lifting tomorrow, you said? What are you doing?
I'm going to be doing an exhibition lift at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Looking to go over 650. We'll see what happens. I won't let the cat out of the bag yet.
Would potentially the first number of the lift start with a 7?
It potentially could, yes.
That would be good to see. Are you lifting against someone then?
No, I'm just never. I mean, I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I had a meet last year with Hornstra and Maddox, and we were lifting together, but we were all in different weight classes, so we're not really lifting against each other. But I guess when you get on that stage, it's your own competition.
I see you competed here a few weeks ago. What'd you hit on bench again?
My best right now is 672. So.
It's crazy. If you do get to 7, how many of you would there be that have hit that number raw?
Right now there's only 5, so I would be number 6. So
Now, my question is, as a person who will probably never bench 700 pounds,
6, 5, any of those numbers.
we're not even near that. And maybe this is because the reason I'll never bench that is how fucking terrifying is it unracking that much weight right in front of your face?
it's actually not.
That's why he's going to do it and I won't, because I am a fucking total bitch.
Now, there's been times when I've unracked it and I'm like, okay, if I drop this, I'm dead. But I can do that at 225. So once you unrack 315, it's no big deal. One thing I'd like to do tomorrow is actually unrack all the way up to about 600 on my own, just to kind of show that control. I know in my training I've lost a groove a few times with 600 plus, and my trademark is I can save a lift, so why not? So.
That's crazy.
All right, James, I got a question for you. We're picky in the gym. We lift maybe half the weight you do, and we need the perfect bench, the perfect setup, the perfect bar. When I watch you benching half the time, you're inside a power rack on a bench that looks about this wide, and you're doing over 600 pounds. Do you give a shit about the equipment? Like, it seems like you can do it on anything, anywhere, anytime.
As long as the bench doesn't shake, and I know the pins will catch the bar, I'll bench whatever. It's not ideal, but then when I get on a bar and a rack that is perfect like this, it's like all the stops are pulled. So,
not like there's a lot of people benching over 600 pounds anywhere, but it seems like the places you're doing at, it definitely doesn't happen normally. Is there people staring at you wondering what the hell's going on when you're doing that?
Yeah. I would say every time I go in the gym, even on my warm-ups, I'm doing things that these people have never seen. And so I try to be really humble about it, but at the end of the day, I put my headphones on, I just do my thing, and I walk out, and half the time I don't even realize it until I'm looking at my videos later and kind of sitting to my coach, and I start looking in the background, I'm like zooming in on these guys, and it's just, seeing the face is just, and then one guy, he's like, I'm going to kill this guy, so I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't really see that, because it would have distracted me, but yeah, it's cool.
And are you lifting as a part of the military appreciation event? Is that right?
I am. I think they're calling it Military Mayhem 1 and 2. There's 3 of us in the first one at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and 2 of us, Casey Mitchell and myself, will be on the 11 o'clock hour. So it's pretty cool to be a part of that. So
yeah, what branch of the military did you serve in, and what's that experience like for you?
I was in the Navy, and that was probably one of the best experiences of my life. I got to travel the world, see people, and meet people that I maybe will never ever go to those places again and meet those people again. I've grown up in a really multicultural society and neighborhood in my own city, so that experience has just helped me in a lot of ways. I can relate to people, especially now when I'm online and dealing with people from other countries. Even there's language barriers and cultural barriers. that alone has helped me to be able to understand. When somebody says, "Oh, I'm from Thailand," I can go, "Well, I've been there," and that instantly creates a bond, which is one of my things. Like with lifting, is it's cool to lift big weight, but when I can talk to people like a person and actually be approachable, and actually talk to them like a friend and say, "I've actually been where you are," or they're in India, or they're in a part of the world that's maybe not accessible to big weights, and they go, "Oh, this guy knows what I'm talking about." It's pretty cool. So it goes bigger than just the weights.
Yeah, it is cool. I'm glad Animal's doing that here, and I'm glad they're making you a part of it. So I think that's about it. It's really good to talk to you. I appreciate you taking a little time with us today. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thanks a bunch. We'll take a quick photo.
Our next guest is Brandon Franklin. If you follow Brandon on Instagram, you know that he's basically mostly he's a pretty funny dude. But Brandon has probably the best hair in the business. One of the best slogans around. We get into that. I think I open this interview with that. But Brandon's had a bit of a tough year. He's caught an injury that's kind of had him had to lay off the heavy weights for quite some time. So it's nice to see him. He's a riot. He's good to be around, and seems to be in good spirits and ready to get back to lifting heavy. So Brandon also had a few nice kind words for Matt from Pioneer. So make sure you stick to the end of this one and hear what he has to say for Matt. Brandon Franklin.
All right, we are joined by world-class, peck-popping, ass-eating Brandon Franklin. How's it going today, man?
Man, it's going fucking awesome.
We are in the animal cage. Somehow we snuck in. He was allowed in, and we just kind of made our way in here. What's it like spending your days in the cage here?
Man, it's been awesome. This is my 11th year here, and I've been able to come in here for about 3 years now, so it's like a dream come true. First thing I did when I come to the Arnold Classic in 2007 was see this animal cage. So it's a dream damn come true, man. Absolutely.
How is now you've had a bit of a rough year, some injury bug, a little bit. How's things looking in that department now? It looks like you've been moving a little bit again.
Yeah, I got an MRI a month ago, and it's actually moved a couple steps forward in the healing process. So I'm pretty happy with that, and my doctor's hopeful that I'll be back at it within a year. So real good.
Now, as a man who's built his brand upon eating ass, gaining mass, and toothpicks and hair gel, do you find it's difficult to be taken seriously?
Yeah, for one thing, it's pomade. It's pomade. Sometimes, but especially like right now when I can't really lift.
Yeah.
So when I can do the lifting, I get a little bit more respect out of it. So they're like, all right, this guy can actually do something.
For sure. Do you have the best hair in the cage?
I absolutely have the best hair in the cage. It's actually, Dan Green likes to argue with me, but he knows damn well who has the best hair.
I don't know if Dan's looks that good. I think you got him beat.
Dan's kind of got like meth dealer hair.
Dan,
don't tell him I told you that.
Dan has sponsors and a following with his hair because he looks like Thor, but I look like fucking Elvis. Mine don't move. So I definitely have the best hair in the cage and in powerlifting in general.
I also noticed, did you get a brand new pair of shoes for the cage this year?
Honestly, I got these shoes to match the Eat Ass Game Mass logo because it was the only thing to match this red in the shirt.
Hey, that's good marketing. Hey, where can people go if they need this shirt? Because I think a lot of people need it.
I think everybody. I'm starting the revolution of eating ass. It's going to be in everyone's homes by 2020. It's going to be normal. So go to eatassgamemass.com or prankdaddy.org. Just that's for my mom.
And how can people follow you on Instagram?
Instagram is prankdaddy29. Which is also my YouTube channel also.
Righteous.
Hey, one other thing I noticed, we know that Matt from Pioneer isn't here this year. Do you got any message for him or anything like that?
Fuck you, Matt.
We couldn't have said it better ourselves.
Yeah, we're really hoping Matt would be here so we could just have somewhere to sit down, and now we're fucked.
Yeah, I was hoping Matt would be here so I could sell my shit there without having to pay the $5,000 for a booth.
Hey, we were hoping that same thing.
Absolutely. Yes. So fuck you, Matt. Again. God bless you. I love you.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for our time in the cage.
I have one thing. Everybody remember, there is no I in team, but there is trend and strength. Remember that always.
There is always trend and strength. Never forget.
You can't take that shit away. Never.
All right, well, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Brandon.
In going through a lot of this audio, if you've noticed, if it sounds like Tanner and I are yelling, it's because we're definitely yelling. So one of the things that we ran into with this is it's actually really difficult to our microphones work pretty well at keeping the noise away, picking up our voices. The problem we had was we couldn't fucking hear each other at all, and we definitely couldn't hardly hear our guests. So what we ended up having to do was yell just for them to hear it, and obviously, especially inside the cage here, it basically just sounds like us trying to yell across the room at each other. It does get a little bit better as these next interviews go on, but next we have JP Price. He had lifted against Rob, I believe, and I believe they both went for 925 for doubles. This is a good, fun interview. This guy's a riot. Make sure you check him out on Instagram. And yeah, so up next we have JP Price. I believe this was also at the SuperTraining Booth.
Go, all right.
All right, we're here with JP Price. You lifted in the cage this morning. Yeah. We just talked to QuadsLikeRobb also. He said he outlifted you by about 100 pounds. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't really 100 pounds, but I was way more handsome doing it. And so I feel like, who's the real champion here, you know?
I actually think that was supposed to be half of the competition anyways. It was like 50% weight lifted, 50% handsomeness. And I think, yeah, we obviously know. So was it a draw?
You know,
were you 100 pounds more handsome than him? Is that the question?
I was 45 more pounds handsome than him on the scale, but 100 in my heart. And I feel like he was more prepared because we drove here together, and I drove and he slept.
So was there any shit talk back and forth at all?
There was. On his Snapchat the other day, he posted his lunch of this big Mexican dinner, and I told him he needed at least 2 or 3 of those to compete with me.
Now, the other thing Rob had said, and I'm going to disagree with him here, is he said that you were, quote, the stinkiest son of a bitch he'd ever lifted against. And I'm standing closer to you than I was to Rob.
Rob didn't smell peachy.
I'll tell you this right now, that I look, I in person, I smell 10 times better than I look, right?
Yeah, I'll vouch for that.
I haven't showered since I lifted, and I'm easily one of the top 3 smelling heavyweights in the top 100 lifters. Okay.
Well, that's good, because I look like I'm made of farts, and I pretty much smell like it.
Yeah. Well, the beard stores a lot, and I cut most of mine off after I played Santa in December. So I feel really fresh right now, but a little naked.
I like it. Well, do you have any shots you want to fire Rob's way before the next competition here?
Yeah, sure. So, well, he's 308, so it's not like he feels like he can compete with heavyweights anyway. So
Pussy.
When we go out to the the current U.S. Open, he'll be at 308, so he can play around with those little guys. Well, I'll take care of the big boys in my class.
Good.
When is your next competition then?
So we're both competing in the U.S. Open, and that's going to be on May 11th and 12th, I think. I'm going to compete on Mother's Day, and I love my mom more than anybody else that's going to be there. And Jess can vouch for that. I love my mother. And so I'm probably going to win because that's great karma.
Any numbers you'd put out there? 1,000+ squat, anything like that?
Well, 1,000+ squat, it's easily the first thing we're going to get done. Over 600 on the bench, and then I'll deadlift however much God wants me to have that day. And
deadlift your favorite event, right?
By far. And so that's important. But really my number one goal for that is to do over 2,400. And hopefully Andre screws up and I win.
I like it. Is he lifting?
Supposedly.
What about, would the all-time world record be in your sights at some point in time?
No, all-time world record's out of reach for me, and that's realistic. But I want to get as close to it as I freaking can and break as many hearts as I can. So that'll be great.
Hell yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, we appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get it.
So while we were still posted up at the SuperTraining Booth, we met here with Jesse Burdick. Jesse's always a good interview. He's I don't know, he seems to have a pretty good time. We picked his brain on what the hell's going on with the Reebok powerlifting shoe. If you remember last year, we had talked to him about where the hell they were at with that. You know, it sounded like that was going away. It was going to get rebuilt, rebranded, redesigned a little bit, and here we are a year later, and nobody had heard anything from it. It sounded like by the time we had asked him, he was tired of answering that question. But we did get him to commit to a really hard, fast deadline that I'm sure they're not going to be able to deliver upon. Also, if you notice, it seems like when starting and ending interviews, Tanner and I have no fucking idea what we're doing. We kind of open every interview with a, all right, here we are with, you'll notice as we go further and further along that all of these interviews start with the word all right, and then they basically just awkwardly end with us not knowing how to wrap up the conversation. I guess that's what happens when you're not actually a professional. So, yeah. So here we are with Jesse Burdick at the SuperTraining Booth.
Dancing. I was just dancing.
No. I thought I didn't know it was a dance competition. It's like a little limbo and a jump rope thing here.
I'm going to guess that the three of us might be as bad at limbo as any group of 3 people could probably be.
I could probably get underneath like about a 6-foot like bar. Past that, I'm going to throw my back out most likely.
Jesse, what is your favorite part about being at the Arnold?
Well, the favorite part is getting to see all my friends from around the world, getting to kind of catch up with everybody. But to be 100% honest, it's people watching, getting to see what who crawled out of what hole to come and visit us at the booth. But it's always a lot of fun to get to see everybody, meet some fans, get to see friends from around the world. But
like us, especially.
Yeah, mostly us. Yeah.
Mostly you guys. Mike, I've peaked right now. Yeah. Friday
downhill from here.
It's a vastly fast downhill from here.
The slingshot booth will be closed now that we're done. Right?
Once you guys leave, you're taking all these people that are in line just with you wherever you go.
Shit, everybody, we're shutting her down.
Out of here.
How about least favorite part about being at the Arnold?
Bathrooms, 100% the bathrooms.
Definitely.
I actually chronicle when I do go to the bathroom how bad it degrades. And it's really interesting. This year we have females here. So they can kind of, because all I go off of what the men's bathrooms look like. It's a fucking disaster. By about 3 o'clock today, there'll just be piss puddles everywhere. 2 of the stalls will be just completely broken.
Toilets are
the
full.
Toilets are completely full. I want to know what happens in the women's bathroom. Like, is it as bad as...
Have we got updates yet?
No.
Early in the week.
Well, it's still the afternoon. So I want to know if they get as bad as the men's do. Because if they don't, I think I'm going to start using the women's bathroom, because by tomorrow afternoon, we can't use the men's anyways. You kind of just step in and piss on the floor.
I'll allow it.
That's just the way it goes, man.
That is probably the worst part about the Arnold.
100% the worst. Everyone's running around with pre-workout and a bunch of protein. It just smells terrible. It's just awful.
And people are eating things they've never even read. Don't have any idea what it is.
Like, I have the chicken breast and rice. Like, yeah, that's what you fucking eat.
Or they're grabbing what's this protein bar?
Oh, absolutely.
Take it.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jesse, so we asked you this last year. What's up with the shoes?
That's a great question. I've been asked this about 300 times actually today. So I'm so psyched to answer this again.
Did you know we were going to ask you about the shoes?
As soon as I saw you, I was like, fuck. Like last year I answered this question too. Like I said, it's not on me. I talked to Reebok yesterday, and we're dealing with shipping and Chinese New Year at this point. So it was shipped via the sea. If you hear of a shipwreck, that might fuck us a little bit more. But it's on the way. That's all I can keep saying. It's ordered, it's shipped. When and how it gets here is going to be, just a matter of time and a question.
I was worried that it was the guys from Massenomics that were holding the whole thing up.
Well, are you guys captains of a ship that you're not sailing right now?
We've got a lot of connections.
From Asia somewhere?
We're pretty diverse.
Yeah, you guys kind of look like Vikings. You could pilot a ship right into a dock.
So any day now?
No. Sometime within the next...
So you're on record next Tuesday.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Yes, next Tuesday.
All right, we're going to hold you to that next year at the Arnold. It has been 363 days since the release of the shoe.
It'll be before next Arnold. I can commit to that.
Sweet.
That's about the most I can commit to.
That's more committal than he was last year.
Yes. Mildly.
We'll take what we can get. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes again here this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll do it for us today. Thanks a lot for checking it out. And we'll
So next we track down the great Donnie Thompson, who I think might be one of our favorite people that we ever get a chance to meet with. Donnie is somehow always smiling. All you got to do is get Donnie to talk, and he will talk for so long. And he's such a riot to be around that I've never seen Donnie not look like he's having an awesome time. So we caught up with him at the Spud Inc booth, and like always, it was just Donnie being Donnie. You get him going, and he just does what Donnie does. So here's Donnie at the Spud Inc booth. We did try to see if we could ruffle his feathers a little bit, because if you follow Donnie on social media at all, he's had a bit of a patent issue with some of the stuff with his. I think a lot of the stuff, basically, from his fat pad to I think the fat bells primarily. Is the issue that he's having right now, and he's not afraid to call anybody out for ripping him off or for really much of anything, and also Donnie's a big he was a geared power lifter. We tried to see if he'd comment on if he thought there'd be a big resurgence on geared lifting after Westside versus the World kind of comes out, and Donnie just didn't want to bite on any controversy today, but still really good time hanging out with Donnie. Make sure you check this one out here. Donnie Thompson at the Spud Inc booth.
Let's double check so we don't have to do this twice.
It usually doesn't go as good after we have to pretend through the second time. Then it's scripted.
All right, we are here at the Arnold at the Spud Inc booth. Joining us here is the leanest version of Donnie Thompson we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
What are you down to? How much weight have you lost in the last year or two?
Down to 314 now. I got real close to 300, and the body said, I ain't budging. Not going under 300. And I was like, well, hell, then I'll quit.
Fine. I'll take it easy for a while.
That's right.
Your body might not be made for under 300 pounds.
Maybe when I die, my bones, I'll be 280.
So what are you up to this weekend?
Well, I'm just going to work the Spud booth here, promote body tempering a little bit, and work with show people bow ties and stuff, and it's really it's a reunion. It's like a big family. I walk in here and I find Ed Coan pinching me on the back. I was like, wow, I can't be a woman. It's just too hard of a pinch. So
I would guess Ed Coan has a pretty hard pinch to him.
Yeah, it's a great dude, man. It's like a family reunion around this place.
He's got a pretty hefty set of paws on him.
I got to tell you guys, last year's films that y'all did, you guys have a great way of taking reality and perception and kind of getting them as close together as possible. You notice that?
Well, everyone's got to be able to do something, right? That must be our one thing.
If we can't be good, we might as well look good.
Well, I think lifters ought to be doing all the comment, interviewing, filming, and everything. When lifters do that and ex-athletes, it just turns out better.
Yeah, definitely.
We follow you on all social media and everything like that, and I would say you're known for you're not afraid to speak your opinion on things. Would you say whatever you're thinking, you're put it out there, no BS all the time?
Yeah, I just don't have an allegiance to anybody, and I don't want to be popular. I don't have no desire to be a social media mogul. So I mean, I can say what I want because I have no repercussions, other than hurt feelings. And I mean, I just saw it. It's not too hurt.
What do you think? Do you got any comments on the current state of powerlifting, whether raw or equipped or otherwise?
Yeah, I never think of powerlifting in categories. I just think of it as powerlifting. That's me personally. I'm not preaching to you, by the way. But I just, one thing I noticed is I have never seen such stronger people in my entire life. They make us look like, children. It is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. That's all I could. When I see powerlifting now, I'm like, ooh, I'm glad I'm not gonna beat them, I just face facts. They're better now than they've ever been.
So Dave Hoff isn't gonna bring you out of retirement?
No, he's one of those people we're talking about.
Westside versus the World. I think that kind of aired this weekend or anything. Are you excited to see that or?
Excited to see that. I'd like to see Louis get his just reward. So he's just a big part of all our lives. He changed the whole industry of strength. So whether you like him or not, every gym you go to, there's band attachments on the rack and there's chains in there. And there's sleds.
Do you think when that film comes out, the popularity of that might maybe push a bit of a resurgence in the equipped powerlifting?
Yeah, the only reason equipped powerlifting went anywhere is because the leadership wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So when there's no leadership and things are ruled from the bottom, it just doesn't work well. Now it's starting to last 3 or 4 years, it's really gotten back on track. And so it's like, and gear lifting's hard. It's just hard. That's the real story behind it.
It's not something you can just walk in by yourself.
No, it's scary.
Yeah,
I'm scared
definitely.
just thinking about it.
It takes a team.
Yeah,
It
takes a team for an individual effort. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. We always like talking to you, Donnie. Do you got any new products coming out? I know you're kind of an innovator and you're always thinking of something. Do you got anything either in the works or in the works down the road?
3 things in the works, and a couple of them are going to change some standards that we're doing now. It's pretty cool, but I mean, it's, it's hard to top the bow tie because it affects so many people, but the other stuff I have is more of a niche stuff. It's like for football players and big strong men and all. So it's going to be a big hit coming out. So it's like, I think it's meets a need. It meets a need that these big guys can do well with,
And you can tell me you're not interested in talking about this, but I know there's other companies that are maybe ripping off your ideas, to put it pretty plainly. Is that the case, or do you have anything to say about that sort of thing?
All I ask is that you give me a little bit of credit for coming up with the idea. If you're going to rip me off or copy me, at least say, hey, I did get it from Donnie Thompson. Don't act like, oh, now I'm the one who got it. So that's all I ask. Give me the credibility. You can take my money and take my stuff, but give me the credibility. I'd rather have that. You know what I mean? Credibility to me is like the numbers in powerlifting.
That seems like a fair request to me. Well, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes here. We always like talking to you.
I can fit in my lift shirt now.
Hey, what size did we give you?
3X.
Okay.
I wear it now. So.
All right. Hell yeah. That's good.
So while we were at the Spud Inc booth, there was this very thick yet very short fella, Ed Coan. You can spot him from a mile away because he is about as wide as he is tall. But we've had our eye on trying to get an interview with Ed for a long time. We kind of know some of the same people, so we were really hoping we'd be able to track him down this year at the Arnold. And fortunately, while we were there talking to Donnie, Ed was right there. So he waited around for us to wrap up with Donnie, and then basically, as soon as I had introduced myself to Ed, the first thing he did was pulled a knife on me to make sure he knew that he could cut me down real quick if I got out of line. I told him that from what I've seen of him, he probably wasn't going to need the knife to get that job done, to which he pretty much agreed with. Ed is an awesome interview. If you listen to the end of this, I'm not sure how much of this we get into or you're going to be able to hear, but you should definitely check this one out on YouTube when we get that on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Massenomics. All these interviews will be on that as well, and some of these are pretty cool to see in person. A lot of the guys reference how much taller Tanner and I are than they are, or if you at least want to see that. It's always interesting when we interview some of these people who are, I mean, compared to the general population, they're enormous human beings, but they just aren't that tall. And now Ed is on the far end of that spectrum. Ed is just not that tall compared to most people at all. But we had heard from all over the world, basically, that Ed has the biggest hands of anybody under 6 feet tall, probably on the planet. And that is absolutely the case. My hands are huge. I'm not sure how much. I mean, you're just going to have to go to YouTube to see it. But Ed's hands are, I think I might have him beat, but if it is, it's not by much. He has equally as big hands as I do, and I am so much larger than Ed. And but then we go knuckle to knuckle with Ed, and I swear to God, the back of his fist has like 7 knuckles. It's fucking crazy. I've never seen anything like it. He said he never really grew into his hands. But also at the end of this, he had grabbed a hold of Tanner and I in the sides and just fucking dug them hands in. So if you hang on to the end of this interview here and listen close, you're going to hear Tanner and I both squeal like little girls when Ed Coan, I think he just grabbed each of our kidneys just to alpha male us before we took off, and it definitely worked. So, but it was awesome meeting Ed. Ed is, pretty, I think, unanimously considered the greatest powerlifter of all time. Records held for forever and ever and ever. I mean, it wasn't until this year till his deadlift record fell, and it was an honor to be able to interview Ed. So, yeah, we're happy to bring you this one, and it was a damn fun time. Ed Coan at the Spud Inc booth.
All right, we are here at the Arnold. With us is Ed Coan, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. How you doing today, Ed?
Actually pretty good. So far, so good.
How much chaos is the Arnold day one. This is day 2 for you?
Well, actually, when you first get here, a lot of times your IQ goes up about 50 points. And then by the end of it, you start hating every human on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And then the smells. It starts to smell. The whole building.
No, it's whether or not the smells rub off on you from the spray tan and everything else.
How about that name that he hit you with at the beginning, GOAT, greatest of all time? I don't know that you're necessarily one to toot your own horn, but would you own up to that name?
I didn't even know what it was at first. I was like, oh, that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, of course I love it, but I don't think anything of it. There's a lot of great lifters out there that have lasted a long time.
Well, we'll probably vouch for you then if you don't want to say it.
We'll give it to you.
One thing, the lifters now, is there anyone out there that you particularly enjoy watching? I know Yuri Belkin's been out there, Kaylor Woolham, some guys in your similar weight
I did
classes.
a workshop last week and Kaylor came.
Okay.
In Albuquerque, but even here, look, how can you not watch Ray Williams squat 1,050 plus with not even putting knee wraps on?
Yeah.
Or Blaine Sumner squatting 1,100 plus, and all these other guys there, and the girls that are awesome.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter the federation now. It's just powerlifting. You gotta love powerlifting.
Yeah. For sure.
Now, I have a question, Ed. Rumor has it that now I may be taller than you, but I heard you have absolutely enormous hands.
I never grew into my hands.
Now, can we do? Now, I am tall, and I have always been told that I have enormous hands, and I want to see the difference here. Holy shit!
I think it's the same.
It's nearly the same.
Yeah.
And I am about a foot taller than Ed is, and that's fucking insane.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yeah, your fist looks a little broader, maybe.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Now, I have small hands. Can I put mine up to you?
I can do a 3-finger palm on a basketball still.
Can I test this here?
No.
No, there's not much there to work with.
Yeah, well, at least when you go to the bathroom, you don't cry like us.
Yeah.
So now, first time we talked to Ed here, it's the first time we've met. Ed pulls a knife on me, which is why I know I like Ed.
Hey, look what I got. There was no animosity, no violence.
Just kind of saying, hey, don't talk too much shit.
Yeah.
Remember, I've got this.
Yes.
It's like a preemptive
I'm pretty
thing.
sure I wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain you would not need it.
No.
I'm made of 80% bitch. I'm sure of that.
You're just a power bearer, right?
Yeah. So, how about your lifting? Do you still lift regularly? What are you up to?
I lift just enough to where I'm not in pain because I've had 2 hip replacements. My shoulders have been killing me, but a lot of that comes from my mom. She's had osteo and rheumatoid arthritis for like 40 years. So, and she's still kicking, so it's just pain, whatever. I lift enough to be healthy so I can tolerate myself in the mirror. And I still got my own ego, so I lift just enough to look stronger than I really am.
Do you get the urge sometimes that makes you think, man, I know I could do it today, I just want to put that extra 50 pounds on the bar, that extra 100, okay, yeah. You're
in
wise.
my mind, but I'm just smart enough not to know it.
Yeah. The wisdom has overcome.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing at this point.
That's a really good thing.
Well, I think that has.
Yeah.
And so, well, thanks a bunch for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it. Awesome to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll get a quick photo.
Yeah, definitely. So are you just kind of hanging? Oh.
Long arms are good for this shit.
I got the mic.
Fucking Ed, right? So, this is gonna be the last interview from the Arnold on this week's episode. We'll get the rest of them cut together for you here, and you'll get those after our sit down podcast that you'll hear next week. Also, all these you're going to be able to find on YouTube. But our last interview for today is from Steve Johnson. If the name doesn't ring a bell, we get into that with him. Steve goes by Forsaken Warrior on Instagram. He said basically his regular name's pretty forgettable, so at least most everybody knows him by his Instagram handle. But this was actually before the if you follow him at all, this is before their what is probably now a pretty legendary face-off in the animal cage between him and Rob Hall. They put 600 pounds on the bar, and they went you go, I go for as many reps as possible till basically one of them quit or couldn't do it. I guess I'll give away the spoiler here. Tell you what, I'll put that in the recap after the interview. I want you to listen to what he had to say, what he thought he would do, and then I'll throw some numbers at you on how it actually went. It was pretty incredible. Also, an interesting thing, if you check this one out on YouTube, Steve weighs as much as me, which is crazy how dense that dude is. he's definitely a pretty freaking solid dude weighing what he weighs at his size. He's not by any means a small guy, but being well over 300 pounds, he's pretty much made of solid fucking iron. So, but great to interview Steve. This, I believe, was also at the SuperTraining Booth, I think. You'll be able to know for sure when you check it out on YouTube. Remember, all these can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/Massenomics. And, so here's Steve Johnson, also known as Forsaken Warrior.
Important questions I got for you. All right, we're ready to go. We're here with Steve Johnson, the Forsaken Warrior on Instagram, and that's actually the first question I wanted to ask you. I feel like everyone knows you by your Instagram handle. Does anyone know your name?
Not too many people know my real name. Actually, what's funny is I had it on my Instagram, and still nobody would call me Steve Johnson, so I just took it off. And now it just calls me Forsaken Warrior. So,
well, that's a pretty good name to go by, though.
Yeah, it's cool. It's more memorable than Steve Johnson. It's like, who remembers John Smith? That's what it's like, So.
It's actually a lot better than being known by like your like 8th grade email address or something.
Yeah, I love Italians or something.
Underscore 69.
No, the name's Steve Johnson _69 420.
All that cool shit. Yeah, when you're young.
You're looking big. You beefed up to the 308 class, is that right?
I'm beefed up over the 308 class right now. I'm 310 right now, so 2 pounds over, but I will be in the 308 class. I'm going to stay there. Just in the off season, I like to just maintain the calories right now, and then just be fat and enjoy life, basically.
Amen. So we were over in the cage quick. What are you doing in the cage, first of all? Who are you going against?
On Sunday at 1 p.m., I'll be against Rob Hall, doing a 600-pound deadlift for max reps.
Has Rob been talking some shit?
Oh, Rob's always talking shit. It's nothing new with that guy. I've had it in my own shit talking lately, and I think I'm hitting him in the fields with that right now. So,
can you call some shots? You got any idea what you're looking at for that? How many you think you're going to get in?
I already called minimum. I didn't put it out there yet, but I will right now. But minimum, I said I was going to do at least 30 reps. How's that sound?
That makes me almost
sounds
sick.
Fucking terrible.
How now that's awesome, but how for real shitty are you going to feel after that?
I'm going to feel like death, probably. I'll probably sit on the floor. My lips, last time I did a long circuit like that, my lips turned blue. Obviously, one time I passed out, so it is what it is at that point, man.
How many do you think Rob's got in him?
11 or 12, maybe tops?
Yeah. I'll give him more credit than that. I said minimum 30 for me. I said maybe like 18 to 20 for him, something like that.
No, he's a super strong guy too, so it'll be fun to watch you guys go at it. We're excited for it.
I have one question though. Now our beards are say maybe of similar length. Why does mine look so shitty and yours look so magnificent?
I don't know. It must be the stuff I use.
Is there a product?
There, Buffalo.
Do you
Beard
have a
Company.
sponsor? Oh,
Buffalo
there
Beard.
you
Oh
go.
shit! Well,
Plugged.
I should have known that. Solid plug there.
Yeah, Buffalo with Luigi Faggini.
So if you don't want a hobo beard, Buffalo Beard.
You got to comb your shit and put some shit in it, man. Yeah, exactly. It makes it look nice and shiny too right now. So,
are you slinging some slingshots here this weekend then too, or what?
I'm not slinging them, but I'm just hanging out. So I'll be here tomorrow as well, and then the cage, and then just roaming around. Hopefully someone knows who I am. Really, that's all I come here for. That's it.
What's your next big meet?
Next big one is the Chicago Fit Expo in June. I'm gonna try to go over 2,300, and if it's there, I'll attempt the world record deadlift again. And then August, I got invited to the tribute meet in San Antonio. That's the plan where I'm gonna go. I want to go 2,400 and try to take that 1,000-pound deadlift. So.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to that tribute meet. We think that's a really good thing for the sport. Would you say with the world record deadlift, it's not if, but when?
It's not if I deadlift 1,000 pounds. It's going to be when I deadlift 1,000 pounds. Yeah.
I like it. That's the right attitude.
Absolutely.
Well, we really appreciate it. Thanks for taking a couple minutes. It's nice to meet you.
So, I'd like you guys to make sure you all check out, follow Animal on Instagram. Also, I'm sure Steve at what would it be, Forsaken Warrior on Instagram. I'm sure he's got videos of it too. But so here's what went down during that deadlift competition. They both went at it 1-for-1. Steve ended up losing to Rob. That's not before having what I would only describe as the most shredded up, torn up hands I've ever seen from somebody from deadlifting. We're not talking one tear. You're probably, like 5-6 tears on each hand with huge chunks of like, not just calluses, but just like massive chunks of flesh ripped off his hands. They were actually cutting his skin off of his hands in the cage with just scissors. In case you're wondering, the cage probably not the most sanitary place in the world. But he went fucking hard and kept going, blood everywhere. He really went after it, but he ended up losing with 63 reps. So he more than doubled what he was kind of thinking he'd get. Well, I guess he said at least 30, but that's fucking crazy. 63 reps at 600 pounds. Rob ended up doing 65 reps, and then I'm not sure exactly if it was what the story was. I do know that he was hurt after the fact, and they actually had to take him out of the cage in a stretcher. So, hefty price to pay for winning that competition. But props to them, though. Between the two of them, I guess it was 65 to 63 reps at 600 pounds, and it took like an hour and 20 minutes of just constantly, I deadlift, you deadlift, I deadlift, you deadlift. Sounds like basically the worst experience a human being could have as far as deadlifting goes. But yeah, pretty fucking impressive. I think that's a thing people are probably going to remember for a very long time. Other notable things that went on in the cage there, Steffi Coan deadlifted, I think it was 545 while she was in there, and then dropped down and did some working sets at 500 at 125 pounds body weight. We also want to thank everybody from Animal for letting us into the cage. We got to hang out and do some filming with, get some photos with Andrei Milanichev in there in the morning before the place had opened up. We got to get in there and film, do some interviews. So pretty cool. Kind of for us, it was kind of some bucket list shit being able to get in there and instead of having to peer over the crowds of people, we could kind of be in there. So that was really, really awesome. Next week, we've got, God, I don't even remember. Or in 2 weeks, I don't even remember who all we interviewed, to be honest with you. But we do have Thor Bjornsson. We got Stan Efferding, Stacy Burr. Who else? Ray Williams. I'm going to forget some now, but just stay tuned here. Also, make sure you check all this stuff out on YouTube. YouTube.com/Massenomics. Click subscribe. We're going to drop these interviews. They'll be one at a time, so that way, as we get them done, we can kind of feed them to you that way. Stay tuned to Massenomics on Instagram. That's at Massenomics. Tanner's going to be putting clips and stuff out once we get all this stuff sorted out. For us, the Arnold is one of those things where we go and we just get as much content as we possibly can, and then we come back, and then that's kind of when the work really starts. So bear with us. We're going to try and get everything to you as soon as possible. But thanks for listening this week. I know this is a touch short, but we'll get everything else out to you over the course of the next few weeks, and stay tuned. So I'm Tyler. You can find me on Instagram at Tyler Effin Stone. That's Tyler EFFIN Stone. You can find Tommy, who is in charge of the camera during all this stuff, and basically the one responsible for all those awesome pictures of the strongman that you see. You can find Tommy at Tomahawk_D. Tanner runs the at Massenomics. Also go to Massenomics.com. There you're going to find our store. The store, you can buy all the hats, shirts, all the cool stuff you see us wearing in these videos that you're watching on YouTube. And what else do we got here? I don't remember what else I have to plug. Without these two guys with me, I'm pretty much totally on an island and don't remember any of it. So Facebook, follow us on Facebook. We're not really sure why, but just do it. And And yeah, that'll take care of it. If you do want to contact us about anything official regarding sponsorships, money, anything like that, email us at getbig@massenomics.com. So I'm Tyler. Thanks for listening. We'll have 2 more weeks of Arnold recap, and stay tuned to the YouTube channel for all the videos. So thank you for listening, and stay strong.
You just heard the Massenomics podcast. With your ears, you're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.